na report gender interests and needs in development. The previous chapter pointed out the need to restructure the current model of development and the world economies to become more sustainable and friendly. Um, according sa chapter 7, it show nga need i-improve ang model of development to make it more useful. The empowerment of the women, especially the poor and the marginalized, is crucial to sustainable human development. Similarly, importance must also be given to care-oriented or socialized feminine values. Meaning, the power na ginahatag sa mga babae, especially sa poor, is importante good for stable. Tapos, the challenges now lies in the structures of development in the development programs. Dapat gid nga ang development structure kay dira gadi ang challenges nag-abot sa mga women. However, varying policies, the programs are often imposed on the women in the discourse of formal economic systems. Therefore, may mga policies nga ginaobra para sa women para hindi sila pag-ignore sa economic systems. Kay ang economic systems gina-ignore lang ang ang power to women. Women's roles are still shaped by development agencies that somehow do not understand the context or rationale of the women from the grassroots. Bale, ang role sa mga bayi naka-base gyapon sa mga agencies, like sa mga obra nila, gina-control sila nga amo lang ang kaya nila himuon, gina-underestimate lang ang kaya sa mga bayi. Bale, sa Caroline Moser in her landmark book Gender Planning and Development, Theory, Practice, and Training discuss feminist theories in relation to trends in gender and development and gender planning. In this work, women's needs are categorized into help development planners efficiently identify programs that would best benefit low-income women in developing nations. Bale, ang context sang libro ni Moser naga-focus about sa mga low-paying women sa mga developing country. Like wala sa aton sa Philippines, sa Africa, example ng mga developing nations. Tapos, these needs concerned with the gender roles, empowerment, and women's access to resources and decision making both in public and private sphere. So, gaan sila sa power, access to resource, decision making para ma-achieve ang work ni Moser nga namin niya sa iyang libro. Moser focus on women's liberation, empowerment, the practical strategic gender needs, particularly the needs of grassroots women. So, nag-focus si Moser sa liberation kag sa empowerment of women para mabalaan ang mga needs ng women, especially sa grassroots of women. Bali ang grassroots of women do amo nang ginhalinan do ang puno gid la ka ginhalinan sa women. Tapos development plans and policies often view women as homogeneous group. People who made development plans in 1980s often thought all women had the same needs. They treated women as one single group. Kay ginatreat dang women nga isa lang ang kinahanglan ka women kay hindi na matuod. Gina stereotype dang women. This view, however, assumes that the needs of women are all the same. For example, imagine a white Catholic housewife in New York are needs similar to that of a Muslim housewife in Saudi Arabia. hindi na sila parehos needs. Their roles may both be as wives at home, but their cultures, freedoms, and daily challenges are different. Bali ang pareho sila ang roles nga wife sila, pero lainay gid ang ilang nga nga needs kay lain ang ilang culture nga gindakoan or ang mga religion da. Tapos consider another case. Does a housewife developed in a urban city have the same needs as a female farmer in an isolated rural village? Hindi, kay also a woman living in a big city has a different needs than a woman farming in a dala pa na digali ang sa may far away village ng women. Ang one might be need better childcare, the other might need a clean water, tools for farming. Pause na na.
Sa potato map na?
Pause na na. Oo.
Sa potato?
Oo. Pause mo na.
Hindi.
Ito.
Go.
Programs in 1980s thoughts these needs are the same. However, previous chapters discussed that socialized roles in each gender differ in each context. For instance, a woman's role as a farmer in Ghana is totally different from woman's role in the Philippines. Their freedoms and laws protecting them are different as well. Hence, it's important to determine a woman's gender interest versus gender needs in the context of her culture and religious identity. This is because they live in different cultures and follow different religions. So treating all women the same in planning doesn't work. Women's needs depend on where they live, their culture, religion, class, and lifestyle. Development plans must understand and include these differences. Dapat hindi tagid pag iparehoson ang parehas nga women nga biskan sa lainay sila nga culture or sa lain sila gindakan kay lainay gina ang ilang needs. We must understand both and always consider her culture and religion. This helps make better plans that truly support women in different parts of the world. Pause na. Gender interests. Gender interests are assumed by many to be same for all those belongings to the same sex. Many people think that all women want the same things just because they are biologically female. Kay dugi nating nila nga tanan nga baye para rehos lang ang needs. Pras kang ginasagin discuss ko. Kay hindi ginamatuod kay lain-lain, di ba? Women this notion also applies to the gender interests of women. Their gender interests and presumed to be one and the same because they share similar biological characteristics. Women live in different places, have different roles, and face different problems. Their needs and goals are shaped by how society treats them, not just because they're women. Maxine Molyneux, a feminist often quoted for her ideas on gender interests in different social movements, defines gender interests as interests that are developed by men or women by virtue of their social positioning through gender attributes. Maxine Molyneux, a feminist thinker, says we should talk about gender interests instead of women's interests. Why? Because women's interest makes it sound like all gender are the same, but gender interest means things people want based on how they treated in society. Because their gender, this includes culture, religion, class, and more. So it's women interest because Molyneux also suggests that praise gender interest over women interests because the latter has a tendency to focus on the genetic notion of women based on their biological similarities. So it's not enough to say women all want the same things. We have to understand that the different roles and experience they have in their own community. Planners translate gender interests into identifiable and concrete gender needs. Gender interests are considered prioritized gender concerns, while gender needs are means by which their concerns may be satisfied. Gender interests are further differentiated into either practical or strategic depending on how these gender interests are addressed. Planners help turn the different concerns of all women, men and women, called gender interests, into real and specific actions or services called gender needs. Gender interests are the main issues that matter most on the people based on their gender. Gender needs are the ways to solve or respond to those issues. These interests can be either practical or strategic. Practical interests about everyday needs like food, water, or jobs, and they help people in current roles. Strategic interests are about making long-term changes like equal rights or ending discrimination, and they aim to improve fairness between men and women in society. Okay.